Hey everybody. Okay, so I am recording on my phone. So I only have a few minutes, I think. Couldn't record on my camera. So anyway, the last time you guys saw me, I was in the middle of my first IVF cycle. And unfortunately, that cycle was unsuccessful. That was around January. Yeah, January, February. And so around June, we decided to do a second IVF cycle. And we didn't even get off the ground with that one. Um, my body just did not respond to any of the medication. And it was crazy because the doctor, I believe they doubled my dosage. I was going to say triple, but I know that they at least doubled my dosage, which was already high. And my body was just like, nope, nothing. That was devastating. The first IVF cycle being unsuccessful was very disappointing. But that second one, I was devastated because I was really, really hopeful. I mean, we both were, my husband and I, we were really, really, really hopeful. So then fast forward to about August, we talked to our doctors and the doctors recommended donor egg. At that point, with everything that we had talked about, the condition of my eggs, or I should say the quality of my eggs at that point, because where we were at in August, it was clear that this was an egg issue, and so we were faced with this curveball that, if you want to continue to grow your family, you're going to have to probably go the donor egg route. And so it took us some time to wrap our minds around that, because that's just not something we ever thought would need to be an option. But it took us, a couple of months, and we decided, what, we do want to continue to grow our family. And so this is where we're at, and we embraced it. And we were excited about that. So that was in, I would guess, like the end of August. And so we were set to do the donor egg cycle of IVF in November. And so that would mean in October, we would start my birth control and all of that. So, all right, so let me start from the month of October. So when October came, and mind you, that was a very, very busy time for myself, for my family. We had a lot going on. And so when October came, I had a doctor's appointment, I guess I would say the beginning of that month, to check in with the fertility doctor, start my birth control, and kind of get this party started. But my period never came. And so I was confused. But I thought, you know what? I've had a lot of stress. I was abruptly taken off the fertility medication from the last cycle. There's a lot going on. Maybe my body is just out of whack right now. Normally my period is very clockwork. So I can pin down to the day that my cycle is going to begin. It's very predictable. And so I just kind of toss it off as stress, because again, there was a lot going on. So I had to cancel my appointment, and the doctor said, you know what, let's just push your appointment out till the middle of the month. And we'll start it then. It's fine. We still have plenty of time. It's fine. So around, the second week of October, I started to feel very, very sick. And so I had 1,000,001 reasons why I thought that I was sick. I had just traveled. I have a nonprofit organization, and I had just traveled out of state for an event. And a lot of times when I fly, I get sick. A lot of people, germs, whatever. And so when I came back that week, I was pretty sick, didn't feel myself. can't really describe the feeling. I just didn't feel myself. I thought that I was actually coming down with maybe the flu or something because I just felt off, you know. Nothing I ate tasted right. Nothing, I didn't want anything to eat. Like I was just out of it, you know. And so I said, you know what? I've had a lot going on. I just got back from a trip that was kind of like a turn and burn trip. You know, I flew up one day, flew back, you know, a day and a half later, whatever. So one day I was at work and all of a sudden I was just sitting there at work and I thought, oh my gosh, I am about to throw up right now. And so I literally ran to the bathroom because I don't throw up. Like that is not, even when I'm extremely, extremely sick, I don't throw up. That's not normal. So I ran to the bathroom and barely made it to the stall. And yeah, it happened. And so I was in shock. One of my coworkers must have seen me, you know, get up in a hurry and run to the bathroom. So she came in and she's like, oh my gosh, what is going on? And so it was like a whole situation in the bathroom. But yeah, so that day, I went home after that. And I just thought to myself, that's really weird. And as I was driving home, uh, I thought to myself, I wonder if I could be pregnant. And within seconds, I was just like, there's no way. There's no way. My husband and I think at that point, it's been 5 years since we were pregnant. And that pregnancy ended in a miscarriage. It was an ectopic pregnancy, actually. And so we lost that pregnancy. So it's been 5 years. And I thought to myself, 5 years of infertility, 2 failed IVF cycles, a failed IUI. There's no way. There's no way I'm pregnant. And so as quickly as the thought entered my mind, it left my mind because to me, that was ridiculous. And so by the time I got home and I'm pulling into my driveway, it dawned on me, when was the last time you had a period? And I realized in that moment, now we're in October at this point, and I realized, oh crap, I haven't had a period since August. But it never dawned on me that the whole month of September, I didn't have a period because I was so busy with all of the different things that were going on. I never even noticed that I missed my period. And so I went into the house, and of course, I had extra pregnancy tests because, you know, doing fertility treatments and, you know, IVF and stuff like that, you tend to have extra stuff laying around like that. So I had a couple of pregnancy tests. And so I thought to myself, you know what? I'm just going to take a pregnancy test because for if nothing else, when I go to the doctor tomorrow to see what's wrong with me, I know they're probably going to ask me, could you be pregnant? So if nothing else, I just want to take this test so that I can tell the doctor, no, I'm not pregnant. And so in my mind, even though I thought it was really weird that I didn't have my period, again, I have had infertility issues for nearly 5 years at that point. So pregnancy was just not even on my radar. So yeah, I went home, I took a pregnancy test, I laid it on the counter, and I walked off. And I just didn't even give it a second thought. Eventually, I came back into my room, and this happened. So I don't know if you can see that very well, but there's a faint line. The second line is faint. So when I saw that, I think I screamed, and I dropped the test because I hadn't seen a positive pregnancy test since my youngest son. My youngest son is 8 years old. Okay. When we suffered the loss of our third pregnancy in 2014, I never took a pregnancy test because I didn't even know I was pregnant until I went to the ER and found out. that it was an ectopic pregnancy. That's how I found out I was pregnant. But that's another whole video. So I hadn't seen a home pregnancy test since 2010. So when I saw that, like, to say I was in shock was an understatement, okay? So the next day, I took this test, and you can see the lines are much darker, okay? So at this point, I'm like, okay, it's saying that I'm pregnant, but I really didn't believe it. Like, as crazy as that may sound, I've got these 2 tests that are saying positive, but I'm like, there is no way. Like, I thought maybe it was a false positive, maybe a chemical pregnancy. Like, I really did not believe that I was pregnant, like, genuinely. So I went to the doctor, and they did a test. Of course, it came back positive. But that same day I was spotting, so the doctor was concerned that maybe it was a miscarriage. I'm not going to get into the long drawn out reasons of why. For the sake of time, they ended up sending me to the ER, and they did an internal ultrasound, and the doctor comes out. And he's like, well, congratulations, you are 6 weeks pregnant. Baby's heartbeat is da 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 da. The baby sac, I believe he called it, everything looks great. Congratulations. And so he's just standing there telling me all this, and I'm just sitting in this hospital bed like, what? Like, I still it wasn't clicking. It was not clicking. And so I'm looking at my husband, because he eventually comes back into the room. He couldn't be in there with me because our youngest son was with us, and so they wouldn't let him into the ER area because he was too young. So he comes back in, and I'm like, yeah, we're pregnant. And baby's healthy. And so we're just kind of like, what? Like, we're both just like trying to wrap our minds around this miracle. The reason why I call it a miracle pregnancy is because it truly is. It's a miracle. When I was pregnant in 2014 and we lost that baby, I had to have surgery. I actually had to have 2 surgeries from that. And due to that, I lost one of my fallopian tubes. When you lose a fallopian tube, it doesn't make it impossible to get pregnant, obviously, but it does make it difficult, much more difficult. We tried and tried to have a baby for years. Nothing. We began fertility treatment in 2016, I believe. 2016. Nothing, year after year. And again, 2 failed IVFs, a failed IUI. So for us to be pregnant, we actually had a doctor tell us that IVF wouldn't even work for us in the beginning. We had a doctor tell us that. They're like, you know what, I'm not going to take your money. It's not going to work. We had been doing timed IVF cycles. I can't even tell you how many timed IVF cycles we did, or excuse me, not IVF, timed intercourse. We did that with the assistance of medication. The type of medication that I was on escapes me right now, but we had medication, and then we were doing timed intercourse. Nothing. I mean, we probably did that for like a year and a half. Nothing. Then we saw our second doctor, our second fertility specialist, and so that was the one that was really working with us with the IVF. And then finally, due to my egg quality, just really suggested the donor egg. So to be pregnant, it's a miracle. To be pregnant at all is a miracle. When everything is working the way it should, it's a miracle to get pregnant. Life, being able to carry and produce life, it's a miracle. But to be in our position, as everybody who's watching this video knows, when you are dealing with infertility, to get pregnant like this, it's just like, wow. I mean, really? Like, miracles really do happen. And so we're incredibly thankful and grateful for this pregnancy. So I don't want to, this is already a 15-minute video, so let me get off. But I just wanted to pop in because it's been so long. I do want to document this pregnancy and just have this, you know, for this journey, you know, for myself, and also to give back, because I've watched hundreds and hundreds of videos on YouTube of women dealing with infertility, you know, women getting pregnant and things like that. So this is my way of contributing to the community. So let me do a belly shot, because I know everybody wants to see a belly shot. Now, by the time you see this video, I will be 16 weeks, because I'll be 16 weeks tomorrow. So here's a belly shot. I know I'm kind of cut off, but at least you can see. So this is baby, okay? Yeah, so I am 4 months pregnant. I think that I'm showing pretty well for 4 months. Keep in mind, this is my 4th pregnancy. Even though I only have 2 children, this is my 4th pregnancy. And I know every time you get pregnant, you know, they say, whoever they are, you start to show earlier. So yeah, that's my news. I really, really want to be a part of this community and, you know, interact. So leave comments below, give it a like. Let's just kind of continue this journey together. All right, bye-bye, guys.